5100 Silver Lake Drive in Plano, Texas. That's my hood, 75093.
Real hood.
My home is not worth $1.695 million, but we are in the same zip code. So
My home's not also 5,750 square feet.
yeah,
Bro, how
5
much does
beds.
it cost to even like cool that thing?
A lot more. If you're worried about the cooling bill, you shouldn't buy the house.
I should not buy this house. That's a good point.
But we got 5 beds. We got 6 baths, like you said. It was built in 1999. It is on a 0.6 acre lot. It's not a ton of land, but it is in Plano. What are your thoughts on the house in general?
It's super cool, man. I like the whole. I feel like I know they say it's not a fad, but I feel like the whole white house thing outside is kind of like a
For sure.
fad thing, especially the white painted brick. Obviously, there's probably not a single brick outside of this bougie house, but
Nope.
I think it's
not
super
white.
cool.
Yep.
It is white.
Nope. Tan house.
Okay, it's very tan. There's white pillars outside.
Yeah, there are
White
white
columns.
There is some white on the house. You're
The
correct.
inside is white.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
inside's very white, and that lovely house. I'm sure it's great. If I'm paying 1.69 million and I've got those spindles, I would personally have a bit of a problem. With
I
that.
agree.
think
That would be a deal
it's a-
breaker
it's
for
a
me.
little old school for me. I get it was built in 1999, but yeah. So
That's Prince. Prince is a
your,
fan of 1999.
yeah,
Oh, shut up, Jay. You weren't
that's
born,
crazy.
dude. Stop making us feel old.
better than 2000. That always makes me feel crazy old.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so put your mortgage hat on. How if I'm client and I come to you and I say, hey Shane, I want to put 5% down on this home.
I would say probably not a good idea to buy this house.
Probably not.
Yeah. So the biggest thing on this is the purchase price at just at about 1.7. Most jumbo loans are going to require. Most options are going to require 20% down.
Yeah, there's a couple out there with less, but
There's a few.
Yeah.
So you could do a first and a second loan.
what is that?
So what it is we would have one loan at $1.5 million. That would be the jumbo loan, and 90% LTV on that loan to value, and then we could have a second loan at 10%, 10% down, which would be about $170,000 on the second loan.
Okay.
So that way we can avoid having. Most jumbo loans have a limit, a maximum of not 80% loan to value, so it require 20% down. So that second loan allows them to bring far less to closing. If they don't have $400,000 to bring to closing, most people
For sure.
would not. Then that allows them to bring potentially $170,000 less to close.
Nice. All right. So if I were to come to you and say, hey, I want to buy this home as is, 1.7 million, put 20% down, what would you expect a monthly payment to be for me?
So I always like to crap on Zillow because they're a marketing company. They're not in the business of giving accurate numbers. So
Yep.
they're estimating that the payment on there would be $11,600 per month.
Yep.
That's actually not terribly far off. The actual payment with taxes and insurance that I would estimate would be about $12,300.
Okay.
So it's about $800 more per month. Biggest thing on that is because they have a ridiculously low estimate for insurance, and then also taxes are off, right? Which is really common. Mortgage payment alone would be about $9,000. Taxes and insurance, everything about $12,300.
That's awesome. Good. I think a lot of people, what they don't realize about just looking at payments on Zillow, things like that. One, you're right. I think insurance is almost consistently wrong. If you don't own a home, you should know that insurance has definitely gone up recently.
50% increase last year or this year.
So I think it's probably taken Zillow's algorithms a little bit to catch up to that, right? And they haven't. But then on taxes, right, taxes aren't something that you would want a computer to calculate, right? Because even if they pull it correctly from the county, there's certain exemptions. There's certain, the owner of this home could be over 65 and getting an exemption. And so it pulls taxes, hundreds of dollars less a month because of those exemptions. So that is something where no matter who you're working with, right, I would definitely send homes to your loan officer so they can pull accurate taxes, so they have a better idea on home insurance. Because last thing you want to do, right, is if I've got a budget of no more than $12,000, well, Zillow tells me this is $11,643. I'm golden. You get under contract, and I was surprised they're $500 off on insurance and $500 off on taxes. You got a $13,000 payment now.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
So I've seen that, unfortunately, and heard that quite a lot.
That's a really good question. I think you should be asking your lender too. Is how are you, calculating taxes for a specific property, and what are you doing to adjust for different exemptions? And then if they pause and like stare at you like you don't know what you're talking about, run and fire them. Yeah, I think that's definitely a big point there, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I do think everyone should know that if you're getting ballpark numbers from a lender, that's great. Like if there's not a home yet, that's what it should be, right? But just be sure that if you send them an address, those numbers are no longer ballpark, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go in the county, you can find the exact figure and do that.